You can just drop it, it's fine.
What's your full name?
Oh gosh, okay. My name is Mia Josephine Mormino.
Do you have any nicknames?
I don't, the only person I have nicknames with is with my sister Lola, and her and I call each other everything, and it changes every week. So like Cha-Cha, Desiree, Girl, Sissy. It'll be like bed frame, doorstop, like well, it'll be anything. It's not like traditional nicknames. So I don't know.
How old are you?
I'm 21 years old. My birthday is November 17th, 1999. I don't know why I like stuttered when I said that.
Where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Where would you like to live someday?
I would like to live in New York someday just to say that I lived there, and also Chicago because that's where all my family is from.
Tell us about the family members.
Okay, so we have my dad. His name is Carmen. He moved out from Chicago to California when he was about my age to pursue acting, and he is probably one of the most like loving human beings I know. I don't know how long is that like a good for each? Sure, okay. And then we have my mom who's sitting in front of me, and I love my mom more than I love anything else in this world. And she was a flight attendant in Chicago. She's born in Chicago. Her birthday is the day after mine. I have the word mama tattooed behind my ear for her. My mom is, well, she's a mom, like she's my mom, but she comes with me to every single music video, show, photo shoot, everything. Like she is like a personal assistant, but I would never like call her a personal assistant because like it's my mom. And I'm not gonna like, I'd never be like, oh, like get me my water. Like I hope she'd like smack me in the head. I would hope. Then we have my younger sister Lola, and Lola is a frickin' queen. She is 18 and she was born with cancer, and from the day she was born she had like a shitload of medical things go on. Like the list is pretty much endless, but she's overcome all of that, and now she's a personal trainer and she has her own business, and she's my best friend. There's not a single thing she doesn't know about me, and I like everything I do, I always have her in mind somehow.
What do you do?
I am a singer-songwriter here in LA. That's like the general term, I guess, but I do a lot more than just sing and write songs. I'm independent, so everything that I do is very much like from me, and of course I hire amazing people to help like bring my visions to life, but when it comes to like location scouting for music videos, when it comes to finding producers, writing the music, doing all the marketing, doing all of the graphics for my like different channels and pages, the cover art, the makeup, costume design, set design, all of it, like that's all me. So I'm a singer, songwriter, but I kind of just do everything that I possibly can within that like umbrella, I guess.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been making music professionally since like 2018, 2019, I believe, but I've been singing and dancing since I was like 3.
Did you go to school?
I went to school up until high school, and then after that I went to makeup school instead of college because I was gonna go to college and I was always set on going to college for dancing, and then as it got closer and closer, just kind of figured it wasn't for me. And when I got into I was gonna go to community college, when I was in the counselor meetings, like figuring out my classes, I just remember I was like sobbing hysterically because it was so overwhelming to me, and the counselor was like, I don't understand like what the problem is. And I was like, I've asked you like 10 times what classes do I take, and you're telling me about like, you know, where the library is. Like I don't understand how you don't understand. So then we left, and then my mom was like, hey, why don't you try makeup school instead? And I was like, perfect. It's like, thank God. So I did makeup school, so I'm certified as a makeup artist, and that's it.
When you started, what was it like?
When I started music, it was fun. I mean, it was really fun. Like the first time that I stepped into a recording studio and I heard like my own voice through the headphones, I wanted to throw up because like you can hear everything because you're right in front of a microphone, and I could hear my heart beating like as we were talking, and I was so embarrassed because I was like, shit, he's gonna think I'm so like not experienced, because I wasn't. But it was really fun. I think when I started, I kind of thought I knew more than I did, but now that I look back, I don't think I really knew that much. And I know, next year if I look back on this, I'd be like, oh my God, she knows nothing. But with each year you do it, the more you learn. So, but it was fun. Overall, it was a good time.
Were your parents skeptical at first?
My parents were not skeptical at all. They encouraged it. If it weren't for my parents, I know I'd still be making music, but I think I would have had a lot more mental breakdowns and a lot of self-doubt, a lot more self-doubt, I guess, than I already have, because they are so supportive and they've always wanted to live out their dreams that when it came to me and my sister, they were like, go for it, do it. As long as you're happy and you're not hurting yourself or others, they were in like full support.
Did or do you have any haters?
Do I have any haters? Well, not that I know of. I mean, I wish I could like see everyone that doesn't like me in like a room and just be like, I don't know. I don't really know if I have any haters. I'm sure I do. Everyone does. But I do know, well, I didn't know this until the car right here, but I do know when I was in middle school and I would wear like these big poofy skirts, and I mean like big, like poofy skirts, the kids would like mock me and like kind of make fun of me for it. And I was very like confident and like eccentric and out there as a kid, and I would wear poofy skirts, I would wear football jerseys, I'd wear like leather biker gloves. Like I did not care what anyone thought, but other kids like didn't really get it. So I know growing up as a kid, I definitely had some other kids that just didn't really understand. Like I wouldn't expect them to, because I mean, what would you do if like some girl walked in with like a pink skirt like out to here and I don't know, flowers in her hair? But yeah, I don't know, sure. If I have haters, that means I'm doing something right.
How many followers do you have?
Oh, how many followers do I have? On Instagram, I have 6,291. How many of those followers are actually engaged with me? Probably about 10, but whatever.
How many songs do you have?
I wrote this down. I have 24 original singles. Every single one I wrote myself. I have 10 features, so not included in those 24. And yeah, so total 34 songs out with like my name attached to it somehow.
How many music videos do you have?
I have 8 music videos, and at the end of the year, I will have 12.
What's your newest song?
My newest song is called Mercy, and it is a part of my 2021 collection of songs called the 7 Deadly Sin-gles, where I'm releasing one song per sin of the 7 deadly sins, and this one represents wrath, and it's like very angry, obviously, and it's about relationships, but it's not about like anyone in particular. It's just kind of like a FU relationship kind of song.
Have you ever performed live?
I have performed live, and I love it, and I loved it when I was doing it, and I actually have a show coming up July 1st, and that's going to be the first one back since quarantine and COVID, and I'm so excited. I can't wait.
If you could perform anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
If I could perform anywhere right now in the world, it would be Staples Center or the Forum. I think the Forum, definitely the Forum. That is one of the biggest goals and dreams of mine, is to sell out my show at the Forum. I know it will happen one day. I just don't know exactly how to get there, but I think that's kind of part of it, is that you just have to like trust the process.
Have you been approached by any record labels?
I have not been approached by any record labels, no.
Is there any label in particular that you're interested in?
Yes, Capitol Records has always been my dream record label to be signed with, but I don't know enough about every single record label to know which is the, like, I mean, there's Interscope, there's Sony, like, there's so many that I'm just not educated in enough to, like, actually make a, if they all were like, we would want to sign you, like, I'd have to do more research on each one, but Capitol Records has always been. I've never told anyone this. Do I say stuff like this? Stuff I've never told anyone? Sure. All right. Okay. Every time I drive past the Capitol Records building when I go to LA, I say in my head 4 times, because 4 is my lucky number. It sounds so funny saying it. I say I made it, and I also have that tattooed on my arm, and when I drive past it, I like rub it because, I don't know, just putting it out there. There have been times when I've come back from shitty ex-boyfriends' houses and I'm angry and I'm like, I fucking made it, and I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs, just trying to hype myself up even though I'm like on the verge of crying, like, yeah, but every single time, doesn't matter who I'm with. If I'm by myself, I say it out loud, but if I'm with someone else, I always say it in my head. So that's the tea.
Have you made money off your music yet?
Yes, I have made money off of my music. It's very little. So would I be like, I'm making money on my music? No, not even close. But I have received checks from my music, so yes.
Have you had to overcome any setbacks or delays in the progression of your career?
I have had to absolutely overcome delays and setbacks with the progression of my career. I mean, there's like so many things that I've had to overcome, and when I say that, I know that like I'm not the only person in the world that goes through breakups or mental health issues or a pandemic, but this is about me, so I'm going to talk as if it's about me, because it is. But the biggest setback I'd have to say has been my mental health. Like, relationships will come and go. Yes, shitty breakups suck. I mean, I've made a bunch of music because of breakups, but my mental health is still the one thing that no matter how old I get, it will still affect me if I don't take control of it. It's so important and it's not talked about enough, and every single person, 98% of the population, goes through issues with their mental health, but because it's looked at as like a weakness, I feel it's not talked about nearly as much as it should be. Being in the position that I'm in, I feel that if I don't, like, I have a shot at making somewhat of a difference in bringing more awareness towards mental health through like the power of music. So it's very important to me, and I hope that along the journey of my career, I can continuously make like positive changes towards how it's looked at. Because like when someone says like, oh, like I go to therapy, I feel like the first instinct someone gets is like, oh my God, like poor you, like that sucks. But it's like, no, therapy is amazing. And I'm not just saying it because I've been in it for a very long time. Like, you are taking control of your life, and you're going and taking the time, an hour out of your day, an hour of your week or whatever, and like sitting down with someone to really talk about you and to figure out why it is that you do certain things that you do, like why you are the way that you are, and how could that be bad? Like, I don't necessarily understand that, but I respect it. But like, therapy is great, mental health is great, just like talk about it, because literally everyone goes through it.
Have you ever thought about quitting?
I have thought about quitting multiple times. One of those times was within the past like 3 months. I was like, you know what? This maybe just is not like for me. I need to stop talking or I'm gonna cry.
How have your previous relationships inspired your songwriting?
Well, the whole reason I literally started writing music was because of my first boyfriend. That relationship, I've talked about it a lot, so I mean, and I'm like so over it, but that relationship completely was what kickstarted like sitting down, trying to write a song. And once I found out I could do that, I was like, oh, this feels a lot better. When I figured out that I could do that, every other relationship relationship I've been in, I've resorted to music to release what I'm feeling.
What do you like to do to relax?
To relax, I love going to the beach. I turn into like a 5-year-old kid when I'm at the beach. And you know, like I love to tan and like be all girly like that, but I'm like going head first into the water. I like to find like sea anemones and shells and pick up little things, and Levi knows because I made him do it with me. But yeah, I love the beach. It's like my sacred place. I love it.
What is your favorite characteristic in a person?
My favorite characteristic in a person, I would say respect. I mean, that is like, if you don't have respect or communication, you're screwed.
Do you have any dating pet peeves?
Let me just go back to all my boyfriends and just pick out. Well, just don't be an asshole, first of all. Like, that's a big one. I really don't like being cheated on. So if you're gonna do that, I'm not the girl for you. When they're disrespectful to my family, disrespectful to me, when they cut down women, when they don't support like the LGBTQ community, like that's a big one for me. Right now I'm in a very like, I don't want to be touched or looked at or talked to by anyone, so.
If you were at a bar, what would you order?
If I was at a bar, I would order the fruitiest, sugariest, like thing that does not taste like alcohol. Because I mean, like, okay, I could order like, I don't even know, what, a martini? Is that like strong? But where is the fun in that? Where is the fun in that? Or like strawberry ice cream with like 3 shots of vodka. Like that's more like it.
If you were at Starbucks, what would you order?
I would order a strawberry acai refresher.
Would you consider yourself a fashionable person?
When I want to be, I'm a very fashionable person. When I don't want to be, it is a train wreck. It is a mess. I surprise myself at just how atrocious I can appear. Like, I love Fashion Nova, except the jeans that I'm wearing will not stay zippered, so it's an issue. I love Balenciaga. I mean, I like all the fancy ones, but I don't really like, I don't own anything from them like that, so I couldn't be like, oh my God, Christian Dior is my favorite. Like, I don't, if someone showed me like Christian Dior and like Forever 21, I'm sure I could tell the difference. But if it was like a black t-shirt and a black t-shirt, I'd be like, whichever's cheapest, just hand it my way.
Where do you see yourself in 1 year?
In 1 year, I would like to be much further along than I am now. And I feel like the more that I work on myself mentally, the better chance I have at that. And up until being asked that question, I was like, I'll probably be in the same spot. But I don't think that's gonna be the case this time, because like for the first time ever, I'm like actually taking control of myself mentally, which will affect my life and improve my life physically. So I see myself being somewhere better than now, even though now is not bad at all, but just further along, I guess.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I want to have made it. I'm going to speak as if it's already happened, because that's what my therapist told me. Yeah, all right, you want details? Okay, so in 5 years, I will have made it. I will be living in LA in my like downtown, well, maybe not downtown. I haven't worked out all the specifics about like the physical stuff, but I know that it will be to the point where like I will have won multiple Grammys and sell out my world tour at the if you're having a world tour, it's not just at the Staples Center and the Forum, but that's the first 2 places my mind goes to. And yeah, those shows will be all sold out. I'll never have to worry about like struggling to get people to buy tickets, because that's like a huge thing for me right now. Like my show in July, I have to sell 30 tickets, and it's like very hard for me to do that. So in 5 years, I will not have to worry at all about selling 30 tickets. I know that I'll have new things to worry about, but one of them will not be selling 30 tickets. So that'll be no problem. Financially, I will be able to like breathe and take care of my family. I've gone to the Met Gala, all like the Billboard Awards. I'll have Billboard like charting songs. Yeah.
Which artist or artists inspire you the most?
The artist that inspires me the most, it's always been Beyonce from like day one. Beyonce and Lady Gaga for very different reasons. Lady Gaga was my first like musical love, I guess. And from a very, very young age, like she showed me that you don't have to look like everyone else to be important. You don't have to dress or sound or speak like everyone else. Like we are all equal and that's all that matters. And she definitely like drilled that into my head along with some other things that I kind of wish maybe she didn't, or I didn't really find myself listening to at the time. But yeah, she has always been an inspiration for me, like for originality. And then Beyonce has been a huge inspiration as far as the level that she's at, and like she's an icon. And no one doesn't know who Beyonce is, except for the little girl that I babysat. And I was like, we're gonna have a little lesson. Yeah, she had her dolls and I was like, oh, this looks like a Beyonce, do you know who that is? And she's like, no. And I was like, hi Cindy, I have got to go now. Yeah, she, everyone knows Beyonce and the force she is, and like she couldn't, famous or not famous, she could walk into a room and I feel like everyone is just like drawn to her, and that so many people know her and know her music, and I just, oh my God, I love her so much.
Which artist would you want to be featured with?
I would want to be featured with, there's an artist, her name is Upsall. Her name is Taylor Upsall. And for some reason, I've always been very drawn to her when I like first started listening to her music. And she's not like Beyonce level, but she's like, way further along than I am. And one of my goals this year was to have a writing session with her. Hasn't happened yet, but it will. We still have some months to go. But she is definitely someone I would love to collaborate with. Even though we're two like kind of grungy, edgy pop singers, I feel like you don't really put two people that are like that in one song, but we'll break the rules for this time. I would love to work with her.
Which genre of music do you like the most?
I like pop music the most, but not like Ariana Grande pop. I like the darker, there's a playlist on Spotify called Salt. That, if I could describe my favorite kind of music, it's that. It's like edgy and dark, and every song is pretty much like, some badass, like, empowering kind of thing. But yeah, that would be my favorite.
Which genre of music do you hate the most?
No offense, no disrespect, but I don't like country music, and I stand by that. No offense. I'm sure it's great, but I don't like it. I just don't. I don't know. I don't get the hype about it, but I guess someone could say the same about, the songs that I listen to. But yeah, country music is not for me. Sorry.
Who are your top 5 rappers?
Okay, I wrote these down because I couldn't remember. I had to. All right, my top 5 rappers. Lil Wayne. He's my number 1. He always has been. Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z, Joyner Lucas, and Nicki Minaj. That was more than 5, but I don't care.
Which artist do you think is underrated?
I think Black is so underrated. It's 6 and then like L-A-C-K, but it's pronounced Black. His lyrics, the storytelling, his voice, I love him.
What collaborations would you like to see in the future?
I would love to see James Blake. Well, there's one song by James Blake and Travis Scott that it is one of my all-time favorite songs ever. It's called Mile High. And so I feel like James Blake with like any rapper would be so cool. I really want to see like Billie Eilish in a rapper. I feel like that would be kind of cool. I'd like to see Beyonce in Labyrinth. That would be cool.
Who helps you write your music?
I help me write my music. But if it's not me, my voice teacher Lily, she's helped me in the past with songwriting.
Are you trying to learn any new instruments?
I would love to learn more piano. I say it all the time, but like I know enough where if someone who didn't know piano heard me, they'd be like, oh, she's good. But someone that does know piano would be like, get that girl off of that instrument now. I would love to learn the drums and the guitar and the saxophone.
What advice would you give to your 10-year-old self?
The advice I would give to my 10-year-old self, I think I would just tell her that it gets better, that it like actually will get better. It doesn't mean that it'll be easy 24/7, but the place that I was in when I was 10, I thought that that was just how life was going to be. But it isn't. It has moments like that, but there's so much more to it. And everything that like I would compare myself to is kind of what I've become in a way. Like I would look at girls in their 20s and be like, oh, like I want to look like that. I want to be like that. Not understanding that I was 10 and I had yet to even develop or go through anything like that. And I feel like if 10-year-old Mia saw me now, she'd be like, oh shit, like you turned into that girl that I wanted to be. But Mia now is still not the girl she wants to be. So how does that work? I don't know, but I just know that if 10-year-old me saw me now, she would think it's cool and like be like, why are you so hard on yourself? So really it's like kind of flip-flopped. It's like, what would 10-year-old me tell me now?
What advice would you give to anyone who wants to do what you do now?
The advice that I would give to anyone that wants to become a musician is just don't stop. Don't stop, because you are bound to see improvements if you keep going. The best way to stop all progress is to stop what you're doing. Never stop learning, always be open to critiques. You know, you've got to have tough skin, because it's not for, like, being told, you know, that sucks is not for everyone, but if you want to succeed, you have to get used to it. And that's what will build your character and just who you are.